This is where we are today in Florida at an abandoned church. And this is actually called Bellview Methodist Church, which is one of the very few buildings left at Parramore Ghost Town, which was a riverboat town along the Chattahoochee River, which is just back there, but you can't see it. You can see the yard though has been maintained for the very old cemetery back there. But the church they have left to rot, and a good job it is doing of that. So let's take a look around the outside before we look inside. The reason it's called Owens-Bellview is because this used to be called Owens Settlement back in the early 1800s. And they farmed cotton and tobacco and had a riverboat landing. And then around the Civil War era, it changed names to Bellevue. Wow, listen to that. It's just from the wind. When they started operating steamboats years later along the river, that's when they named it Paramore. And they added a few more river landings, or riverboat landings I should say. And one of the landings was named Paramore, so they named a town after it. Doesn't that look eerie? And that sound really adds to it. Around the early 1900s, Paramore was a really hopping town, probably at its peak. They had a blacksmith shop and they had turpentine stills and farmed cotton and tobacco, had a timber industry. Looks like the roof is falling in there. Then afternoon modes of transportation were introduced. Commerce started to decline in Paramore. Then the swine flu epidemic of 1918 killed off many, wiping out whole towns. The South went into the Great Depression sooner, and by 1920 the town was starting to diminish. Here's the backside. Here's the cemetery, which we'll look at a couple graves after we look inside the church. It looks like vandals have really went to town on this one. And then World War II pretty much marked the end of Paramore when many did not return from the war, unfortunately. See, they maintain the grass, but they don't really care about maintaining this, and I'm surprised. Since it is an important part of Paramore history. Wow. This is really rough. This be nice to have seen this before the vandals got to it, just to see how all this stuff was set up. We won't be walking in that corner. It's like a heart shape here. It's really unfortunate that people have to ruin historic structures, or any structure for that matter. Hear that? Sounds like metal rubbing. Let's see if I can work my way up here. I don't know what's up with the rubber glove. Looks like the podium is gone. There's nothing but plastic flowers, really. What are these, like wasps' nests, or? I have no clue what that is. Okay, well, let's go check out some of the graves. Okay, back in the cemetery area here. It's not that big, but it's very old. A lot of these gravestones aren't even marked, or they're very worn that you can't even read them, like this one here. I see August 8th, but I can't really make out the date, at least from the viewfinder. Maybe once the video is processed you'll be able to see it better. I noticed that with my videos. And the last name of Owens here. And I also noticed this must be infant graves there. Here's another Owens from 1876 to 1904, so that's not very old. I'm sure, well, I've heard that lifespans weren't very long back then. It's another Owens, I can read at the top there. Born 1928, I think it says. I can't make out the rest. And that one is really rough there. Inside here are the Confederate graves. Whitman D. Owens, Corporal. There's no date on it, but I imagine that would be from the Civil War. Just see Owens everywhere. More here. (1892 to 1953). A little newer. 1863, 1941. John and William Owens. Look at these. You can't even guess these ones. You'd have to pretty much know how to read Braille. Okay, I see 1886. 1888. That's only 2 years. Wonder what these two are back here. Kind of on their own here. 18 died of age 53. (1867). Here's looking back at the church. And this is one of the main streets of Old Paramore. And it, as you can see, it's been reclaimed by nature and mosquitoes in a pretty way. I just love that tunnel effect. A lot of the buildings were knocked down in the 1970s, so there's nothing left here much anymore. And here we have Oak Grove Church. It's a memorial, not in use, but people gather each year for annual homecoming, celebrating the memory of Paramore. Let's see if we can get a closer look. We can get a look inside here. It's still in pristine condition. Being kept as a memorial, it would be. You can see a little bit there. There's another cemetery here. Here's an old abandoned house from Parramore Ghost Town, built in the early 1900s. We won't be able to explore the inside because well, it's very unstable, plus there's no really good point of entry anyway. I don't know if you can notice there, but there's some cedar shakes for the roof and it's been covered up by corrugated metal. We'll see if we can look in the window a bit here though. It has some of the metal roofing here on the ground. It's kind of noisy. And you can see in there there's an old rocking chair and an old bike. An old chair here. You can even see there, like it's just the roof is coming in on the ground there, the floor. It would be interesting to see inside for sure. Sorry for the shakiness. You can kind of see in there where the ceiling's all falling down. Grass is quite tall. Somebody owns it. Because that's their sheds there. And here's the back side of it. Definitely a lot of character. You can see no trespassing there. Doesn't look like anybody would really want to anyway, if they valued their life. Oh, there's a box spring mattress there. I don't know if you can see it through the window. Lots of junk. Well, not really junk. Probably lots of antique stuff. Looks like an old stroller there and just older furniture. But they keep it junky because everything's just thrown around. Nice porch. But see, they pile all the stuff up on the porch too. So I don't know what they plan on doing with this, but I hope they don't take it down like the other buildings. Okay, on to the next place of interest. Right over here we have a monument for the school that was in the area of Paramore. And I'll just give you a pan of the area. And the now lonely dirt road that it sits on. It was a monument for the teachers, principals and staff. 1927 and 1952. There's a little plaque there you can read. Donated by the Lawson family, 1997. Lawson family was also another well-known name of Paramore. Over here you can see the foundation of the school and some of the grounds. Sadly, this is all that is left. like I was saying, in the 1970s, most of the buildings were all knocked down. There's scattered residents that live here now, possibly descendants from the former residents that lived here, maybe some new people, but Paramore itself is no longer. Thank you for watching.